Okay, here we go. Let's aim for gripping, focused on jealousy and bullying, and with a positive resolution. The crimson sting, the old clock tower chimed midnight, each resonant clang echoing the hollowness in Elara's stomach. Rain lashed against the attic window of the old Blackwood manor, blurring the already distorted view of Oakhaven below. She clutched the worn, leather-bound diary title, its pages whispering secrets that were never meant to be unearthed. Secrets about Amelia Blackwood, her great-grandmother, a woman whose name was synonymous with elegance and grace, yet whose life was shrouded in whispers of tragedy. Elara had inherited the manor after her estranged grandfather's death. He'd been a recluse, haunted by the past, and Elara, a struggling artist with a penchant for forgotten histories, felt drawn to the dusty halls and hob-laden corners. She felt a kinship with the house, a sense of shared solitude. It was in the attic, amidst forgotten portraits and moth-eaten tapestries, that she found the diary. Amelia's first entry painted a vibrant picture of a young woman brimming with talent and ambition. She wrote of her passion for sculpting, her dreams of showcasing her work at the prestigious Oakhaven Art Fair. My hands, she wrote, will mold clay into stories that will capture the hearts of all who see them. But as Elara turned the brittle pages, a darker narrative began to emerge. Amelia wrote of Serena Sonthorn, a fellow artist, beautiful and effortlessly charming, who seemed to thrive on Amelia's insecurities. Serena's sculptures were celebrated for their flawless execution, while Amelia's, though brimming with raw emotion, were often dismissed as rustic or unrefined. The subtle barbs evolved into blatant sabotage. Amelia described finding her clay inexplicably ruined, her designs mysteriously copied, her name whispered with malicious gossip. Serena, it seemed, was fueled by a poisonous jealousy, a desire to extinguish Amelia's flame. One entry, dated a week before the Oakhaven Art Fair, sent a shiver down Elara's spine. Serena has threatened to expose my secret, something I confided in her years ago. If she does, my life will be ruined, my reputation, my family, everything. The entry ended abruptly, the ink smudged as if stained with tears. The next few pages were torn out. The following entry was written weeks later in a shaky hand. The fair is over. Serena won. I could not bring myself to present my work. The whispers, the stares, they were unbearable. My dream, it is shattered. Amelia's writing became increasingly erratic. She spoke of isolation, of feeling trapped within the walls of Blackwood Manor, a prisoner of her own humiliation. She stopped sculpting. The diary entries dwindled and eventually ceased altogether, replaced by the chilling silence of unwritten pages. Then, Elara found it, a single dried crimson stain on the final page, pressed against a stark white space. It looked undeniably like blood. Elara felt a cold red creep into her bones. The local history books painted Amelia's death as a tragic accident, a fall from the clock tower during a storm. But the diary hinted at something far more sinister. Had Serena's bullying driven Amelia to suicide? Or was there something even darker lurking beneath the surface? Driven by a need to uncover the truth, Elara started digging. She visited the Oakhaven Historical Society, poring over old newspaper clippings and town records. She learned that Serena Thorne had enjoyed a long and celebrated career, her sculptures adorning public spaces and private collections. She was a pillar of the community, revered and admired. But Elara also discovered something else. Serena Thorne had died 5 years prior, leaving behind a daughter, Eleanor. Eleanor Thorne, an artist herself, lived a quiet life, rarely venturing out into the public eye. Elara hesitated. Should she confront Eleanor? What if she was simply perpetuating a decades-old feud? But the image of the crimson stain haunted her. She needed to know the truth. She found Eleanor in a small, unassuming cottage on the outskirts of Oakhaven. Eleanor was a frail woman with kind eyes that held a hint of sadness. Her studio was filled with sculptures, each one a testament to her talent and her quiet dedication. Eleanor introduced herself and, after a long, agonizing pause, revealed her connection to Amelia Blackwood. She showed Eleanor the diary, pointing to the entries that spoke of Serena's cruelty. Eleanor listened in silence, her face growing paler with each passing word. When Elara finished, Eleanor closed her eyes and took a deep breath. My mother, she was a complicated woman, Eleanor said, her voice barely a whisper. She was driven, ambitious, but also deeply insecure. She always felt the need to be the best, to be admired above all others. Eleanor confirmed that Serena had been intensely jealous of Amelia's talent. My mother saw something raw and powerful in Amelia's work, something she couldn't replicate, no matter how hard she tried. It terrified her. Then Eleanor revealed the secret Amelia had so desperately tried to protect. Years before the art fair, Amelia had been pregnant, unmarried. In the rigid society of Oakhaven, this was a scandal that could ruin a woman's life. Serena, knowing this, had threatened to expose Amelia if she dared to compete at the fair. My mother never wanted to hurt Amelia physically, Eleanor said, her voice cracking. But she was ruthless in her ambition. She knew that revealing that secret would destroy Amelia. As for the night of Amelia's death, Eleanor didn't know what had truly happened. Serena had always maintained that it was an accident, but Eleanor had always suspected that her mother knew more than she let on. Eleanor felt a wave of sadness wash over her. Amelia's life had been stolen not by a violent act, but by the insidious poison of jealousy and the crushing weight of societal judgment. But then Eleanor did something unexpected. She walked over to a covered sculpture in the corner of her studio and unveiled it. It was a bust of a young woman, her face filled with a quiet strength and determination. This, Ilona said, is Amelia. I have been working on it for years. I wanted to create something that captured her spirit, her talent, to honor her memory. Ilona explained that after her mother's death, she had found a box filled with Amelia's sketches and designs. She had been captivated by Amelia's artistry, by the raw emotion that poured from her creations. She felt a deep remorse for her mother's actions and wanted to find a way to atone for her sins. Elara and Eleanor spent hours talking, sharing stories and memories of the past. They discovered a shared love for art, a shared understanding of the pain that jealousy and bullying could inflict. They decided to collaborate on a project, a joint exhibition showcasing both Amelia's forgotten works and Eleanor's tribute sculptures. The exhibition held at Blackwood Manor was a resounding success. Amelia's sculptures, long hidden from the world, were finally appreciated for their raw beauty and emotional depth. Eleanor's tributes were praised for their sensitivity and their ability to capture Amelia's spirit. The exhibition became more than just an art show. It became a symbol of healing, of forgiveness, and of the power of art to transcend even the darkest of pasts. It forced Oakhaven to confront its own history of prejudice and judgment. Elara and Eleanor, once strangers bound by a shared tragedy, became close friends. They found solace in each other's company, a shared determination to create a world where talent was celebrated, not stifled, and where kindness triumphed over cruelty. The crimson stain on the diary page remained a reminder of the pain of the past, but it was also a reminder of the power of healing, of the possibility of finding light even in the darkest of corners. Elara finally felt at peace in Blackwood Manor, no longer haunted by the ghosts of the past, but inspired by the legacy of Amelia Blackwood, a woman whose art, though silenced for so long, finally found its voice. The house, once a symbol of isolation and despair, now resonated with the sounds of creativity, of friendship, and of hope. The rain outside had stopped, and a sliver of moon peeked through the clouds, casting a gentle glow on the old clock tower. It chimed once, a single clear note, a promise of a brighter tomorrow.